Today, we're going to start building that because he said he would teach us how to do it in his video. This guy, who we all know and love, Matthew Peech, says you can build his transforming shelf there just by watching his video. And if you want to, you can buy the plans and then build it from the plans. But I want to know, can you build it from just the video? Now you can see what a wreck my shop is, and I could really use that thing to kind of clean up some of this mess and actually have a little more storage. So I went to the home center and I bought plywood that I had to get cut in half so I could get it into my SUV, and 2x4s. I actually have a few more 2x4s in case I need them. I did buy his struts that he has special made, so I did buy those. And I was going to buy the casters he had the link for, but the casters were different, so I was a little confused. So I just kind of found some that I liked, but I bought it all at the same time, so hopefully he gets credit for that, because I know the little thing will stay active on your computer for 24 hours when you click through his link. So anyway, let's find out if we can actually do this.
Welcome back, guys. So I will be walking you through every step of this, but as always, if you are a plans in the hand type of person, head over to my Etsy shop.
I don't know what happened here, but if you look at this side, all those boards are nice and together and straight. If you look at this, I got a gap, and there's a gap, and they're on all of them actually. And I used my drill guide to make these holes straight, but I don't know what happened. But we're gonna move along anyway. One thing I almost screwed up on is I went to cut this and I didn't have my X's in here to remind me that this was the waist part. So I almost cut on the wrong side of the line. So just remember, mark your waist because it helps remind you of which side of the line to cut. All right, I ran out of 2x4s. So I had a 2x10 that I just ripped two 2x4s out of, basically. And so I'm going to use these for my stretchers for the legs. Now, I used Matthew's affiliate link to buy the struts and the casters, but I went with 4-inch casters instead of 3-inch casters. I just like a little bit bigger caster. So you can use his link, or I'll leave a link to these that I bought in the description. So let's go ahead and get these marked out, and then we'll get this drilled and finish the stretchers. Okay, these casters come with 2 bags of attachments. Attaching hardware. How about that? Bolts and nuts. But the problem is these bolts are too short to go through a 2x4. So I'm going to go with these screws and washers for now because that's what I have. And I may change out for bolts later. I can always drill these out and drill all the way through, put washers and everything in it, and it'll work fine. But for now, we're going to go ahead and just use the screws and the washers. One thing that Matthew kind of glosses over is connecting the stretchers to the legs. From what I can tell, he's only using 1 screw. I don't know what size screw he's using. I don't know that he says, or maybe I just missed it in the video. But I'm going to use a 4-inch long screw. And from what I can tell, he's drilling into the outside 2x4. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to do that for all 4 of these, and then the stretcher should be connected to the legs, and we should be done with that part. Well, no judgments on my shop. My wife's got projects going on out here. I've got projects going on out here. This place is an absolute wreck, which it pretty much is all the time. But anyway, I got the casters put on. I got this put together. My battery died in my phone, so sorry about that, but this part of it is done. We're going to put this thing together and see if we can't get it to fit and see what happens here. And to be honest with you, I don't even know how to pick this thing up. Like that, maybe? Well, I mean, that works, but this is not the best way to do it, I don't think. Holy crap, I can't believe that fit. That's amazing. Wow. All right, that part of it is done. Look at that. But isn't it? This is supposed to come down this way. What's wrong? Do I have this upside down? I don't think I do. Something's wrong. I got it upside down or something. Alright, let's go watch this video and find out what I did wrong. Yeah, so it definitely helps if you put it in the right way. So, now that I've done all this, at least I know it fits. So we're going to turn it over and try this again. How do I do that without breaking something? That's my question. Okay, let's see if I can get it in as easily as I got it in the last time. That's that. There we go. That's better. So, theoretically, this should go up just like that. And then so should this one. Alright, let's find out what the next step is, and then we're going to move on.
We're going to take our overhang from our main support.
Okay, so we got a support, put the support together. I don't know why this thing looks like this. That doesn't seem right. What's with that? I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it. Maybe the plywood shelves will straighten this out some. We'll see how it goes. I'm not sure if I just screwed up somehow and I cut stuff too long or what I did, but my casters hit. So that's not going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some 2x4 pieces and I'm going to put it in between there, put the casters on the bottom of that, put that up against this board, and that should give me the height I need for my casters to work correctly. Hey, that was great. Now I gotta get out. That's not that easy. All right, I made it. Okay, sun's going down and I mean, it's not very bright in here. But here's a tip for whenever you're making this. If you decide to go with the bigger casters, make sure you don't go by his measurements for the leg that's going to sit down there, because if you do, it's going to be too short. So I need to go measure that and recut. I even drilled the holes and everything. Look at that. So his legs were like 25 3/4, I think. Mine are going to wind up being 30 1/4. Just so you know. Well, it's been a month and I still haven't finished this thing. I am so close. But my wife took over the garage with me as her whipping boy, and we worked on projects for the house. So as you can see, the whole garage is just an absolute disaster area. But I'm going to get this thing uncovered because she's at work right now and I got a couple of hours, and see if I can't get this thing finished. So hang on and let me get it unburied and we'll take a crack at it. Okay, one thing I did wrong is I put the legs on the inside. And I didn't think that was going to be a big deal until I closed this thing up and I realized that the legs are actually going to hit one of the shelves and then they're going to stick way out. And that's not really what I'm after. The problem is that I used a Forstner bit and I made that hole bigger. So what I need to do is use a larger fender washer there as a spacer. So we're going to drill out a fender washer and see if we can't fix this. It's a little tight, but I think that's going to work. Well, that looks better. Yeah, my bolts are too long. I'm going to have to get shorter bolts. But at least now everything is correct. So I'm going to go do the other side and then I'll bring you back. Okay, let's have a chat. I don't know what I did wrong, but this side right here was bowed out. So I don't know if it was just warped boards or what. But if you look along this line, it starts to get a little bit wider as you go down. And then here, the board's not completely covering the 2x4. But for the most part, I think it all worked. So we're gonna test it and see if it works. I hit my light. Whoops. Hey, not too shabby. It's a little close to the ceiling, but that's because I put bigger casters on it. And then I put a 2x4 on the bottom to mount the casters to, which I may have already explained, but you get to hear it again. All right, I'm going to put a pin in here so I can lock this. Now, I put a flag on here because I don't want to bottom out this and I don't want to go through too far. So I want it to stick out a little so it's easier just to grab hold of it. That works pretty good. I like how it's sticking out right there so you can just kind of grab it, pull it. All right, let's put the struts on. Okay, If you did like I did, and you put this on and it was covering up the screw that you needed to put in, you can pop these back off. For those of you that don't know, you take a screwdriver and you just place it behind this right here and pull on it until it pops. Don't drop your screwdriver. But you just pull on that until it pops off. You can push it off with a pin. So that's how you get them off. There's no instructions in the box. All right, I'm gonna put the other one on and then we'll do a wrap up. When I put the lights up in this garage, I wound up screwing them to the ceiling, and I didn't use the holders that they gave me with the chains. I'm going to use the chain in here to go on my legs. Those might not be long enough, but we're going to find out. Okay, the light over here is not great. I don't even know if you're going to be able to see what I'm doing. Let's move you over a little bit. And I'm really kind of guessing at this. We're going to put it right there. All right, put the other side on and we're going to be done. Well, there it is. I finally finished it. What do you think? I think it came out pretty good. I had some problems with some warped 2x4s and some things not lining up. I had a hard time getting all this stuff in here because you got to put it in the exact right position so that when the platforms come down, they don't catch on the tools. I got an old rigid planer that I'm still using. I want to fix this one up because it's missing a few pieces. If you watched one of my previous videos, you see how I got this so cheap from Lowe's. But, so I'm still using this one. Once I get this one fixed up, then this one's going to go away. I'll put something else here. Or I'll put this one here. And then I'll put something else there. Made it a little too tall. There's not a lot I can put on the top shelf. So be aware whenever you're building yours. Also, take into account the distance between this platform and this 2x10 or whatever this was. It makes this space much shorter than the others. I was going to put this there, but it didn't fit, so I had to go with something else. Other than that, I think it came out pretty well. One thing he doesn't go over real clearly in his video is where exactly to put the platforms. So I will put this down and then I will show you what I did. One other thing, I'm not real crazy about how this works with the chains. I may have to put a spacer in here or something to make this work a little better, but I'll fight that battle a different day. Whoops. My garage floor is not very level, so this thing wants to roll if you don't lock the wheels. Okay. Basically, I started at the short end and I lined it up with the 2x4 right there. And then I left about an inch space in each panel all the way down and just screwed them down. And that's what I did. If you look at his video, I think he's got his slightly closer together, but I wanted plenty of room to be able to make the transition because I've got warped 2x4s. Yeah, there we go. We got a shot of it laying down. That's not too bad. Then, in order to use this planer, I'm going to have to use it with the platforms transitioned vertical because either that or I'm going to have to spin that to be able to use it because there's not enough room, obviously, for boards to go through. These are some containers my wife got me for Christmas that I got to get some stuff in that fit on this top shelf and they don't hit the lights. So that's probably where that's going to live. I really wanted to put my router table on here, but it's too wide and it won't fit. So that was kind of a bust. And then I wanted to put my sander on here, which it would fit on the top shelf, but it's too tall and it hits the ceiling. And I could put it, I tried to put it on this bottom one, but it's got a stem that sticks up, if you see right there that makes it too tall to go underneath that 2x10. So this is what I'm living with for now. Now I need to build a flip-top cart so I can get some more machines put away. And then I need to build a miter saw station. I think I'm probably going to go with Fisher's miter saw station. I really like his design, and I think that's going to work out well for me in the shop. Okay, so the question is this thing too big for a two-car garage shop? It depends on how much crap you've got. I've got a lot of crap, and it really does feel too big. I'm going to take that apart that my rigid planer was sitting on, and this is where it's going to live in that space right there. So, I mean, it is better because I'll get 3 machines basically in one machine's footprint. But in a two-car garage, you've got the overhead door rail, you've got lights if you're trying to, you know, light up your shop and stuff like that. So it can get too big. So the question for this video was, can you build the Matthew Peech transforming shelf without buying his plans? Yes, you can. You can just watch his video and not buy the plans, and you can build this, because that's exactly what I did. Is that the way you should go? Man, I had to rewind, write down, go back, watch again. How did he do that? Is there a better shot of that? I did a lot of that. It's easier just to buy the plans. It really is. He does a very good job of giving you every piece of information you need to get it built. So I was very impressed. Good job, Matthew. I did use his affiliate links. I bought his struts, and I bought those wheels and some of the hardware through his affiliate links. So he did get a little bit of money from me. But I wanted to see if you could build it without it. The other thing that I had built that I didn't buy his plans was his planter boxes. And I sell those in the springtime. I'm still selling them. They're great. They're awesome. That was a much easier video to do that with. Something as complicated as this, man, I would just buy the plans. So anyway, well, that's it for this video. Thank you, Matthew Peech, for putting out a great video. You give out a lot of really good free information. I built this straight out of your video, so all the information is there. That's it. Quit watching me. Get out in the shop and go build something. Jesus. God, this place needs to be cleaned up. Who made this mess?